So I know that there is plenty of videos just like this on YouTube, but as you can see, my gun is nowhere near like some of the other Gucci Glocks that you see out on the Instagrams and the YouTubes. And that's because I really didn't spend a whole bunch of extra money on non-needed stuff. I didn't get my whole gun Cerakoted for extra $300. I did get stippling, but I found a friend to do that. That's also something you do at home. All that extra stuff that looks good is not anything you need. I feel like this right here is the most that you need for not only a self-defense gun, but a competition gun, in my opinion, for Glock. This is the best Glock build, and we're gonna be talking about everything that I've done to this gun. So to preface this, everybody on my channel knows that I have been doing shooting competitions. I've been shooting competition for I guess about a year and a half now actually, and I have won the last 5 out of 6 matches high overall. So I'm going to take this gun on Saturday, which is 2 days from now, and I'm going to win my IDPA local match high overall, just to show you guys how good I can really get with this gun. This is not a bragging right. This is just to sell the fact that you can use simple upgrades like this to really make your gun run reliable and be effective with it. I actually made this video last month, and whenever I went to go edit it, the audio was all messed up. So I took the gun, I did the video on it, I took it to my match that I had last month. I won high overall, but since the audio was messed up, I'm going to do the same thing this upcoming week. And guess what? I'll put both matches in here. I'm just going to put some shooting footage over it while I'm talking about it, so you guys can see me win possibly 2 matches in a row with this thing, as long as I shoot how I'm supposed to shoot tomorrow. So other than that, let's go ahead and get straight into the video.
You're ready. Stand by.
Ever since I started carrying this gun and started using it in competitions, that's when I started winning, and it's been great to me. It's been reliable, it's shot very well, and so I just want to go over a couple of things that I have done to this gun. So the first thing is going to be base pads. And so base pads, it's something very simple. It's something inexpensive. It does help with looks, but it also helps with just getting more ammo in your magazine. And those extra, this one 2 to 3 rounds can definitely help, especially the bigger ones, the extra 4, the +5 or +6 even sometimes, depending on what company you go with. They definitely help out a whole lot. So something like a base pad, it helps add a little bit of weight at the bottom, so it cancels some of that muzzle flip just a little bit, not too much, but it definitely does help, especially with being able to rip that magazine out if you need to. It's just more purchase that you have on the magazine. What I have done next to the gun is a stipple job, and this was actually done by Black Diamond Guns and Gear. Thank you guys. Shout out to them. Thank you to them. But he did this very aggressive stippling on mine and a double undercut, which matched my Glock 19 exactly. I have to shoot a Glock with a double undercut. If it's going to be something I carry, it's going to have a double undercut. It just kind of helps with rolling forward on my grip some and letting my hand know when to stop. Also, whenever it does come to stippling, just the roughness that it has on it, it's not too much not to carry. It doesn't tear my stomach up because I do carry appendix, but it definitely does help just keep that pistol in your hands. You can really torque in on the gun, especially with the double undercut, get up a little bit higher, and the stippling definitely just helps for whenever it's hot outside, your hands get sweaty, or even if it's not, and it just helps that gun stay exactly where it's supposed to in your hand. So getting a stipple job or some type of silicone carbide, something in that general area, is definitely a huge plus, and it's not something that messes with the reliability of your gun, and it's also very inexpensive. Stippling be a little bit more expensive than silicone carbide, but you could do either one at your house on your own. Just make sure you do your research first so you don't mess up your gun. So working our way up from there, the stippling and the undercut, we have a Apex trigger. So something as little as changing the trigger shoe and trigger bar. You don't have to change any of the trigger housing, but I am using a minus connector right at about 3.5 pounds. I can't say who I got that from because YouTube doesn't like stuff like that, but the trigger, it is an Apex trigger. Having the flat face on it just really helps a lot. The oversized safety helps deactivate that whenever I'm pulling the trigger, because of course, as you know, Glocks have no external safety. So having that trigger safety be a little bit bigger helps me not miss that whenever I am pulling the trigger. And having a minus connector helps get your trigger pull a little bit less. Like I said, right at about 3.5 pounds. The less you have to pull the trigger, the less dipping possible whenever you're shooting. So if you have to make those very fine or those long distance shots, if you have a really heavy trigger pull, the chances of you dipping and pulling that gun down whenever you do it because of the trigger are a lot higher. So I like mine right at about 3.5 pounds. For carry, some people think that that's too light. That is definitely 100% up to you, but especially for competition, 3.5 pounds is perfect for me. If anything, I like to go a little bit into that 2.5 to 3 pound range if possible. Going up a little bit next higher into the gun, we have the CAGWorks slide release. And so this thing has just been a game changer for me. I can't shoot a Glock without it. I mean, I can, but it just, my grip is so aggressive and so high that I'll lock the slide back right in the middle of the fire. So having that CAGWorks slide release, it's a $50 fix. It's something that lets you have a, in my opinion, is a proper grip, something very high up on the gun. I try to put shooting footage in this video so you can see how high I get up on the gun and how the slide release is up out of the way. So without this simple change, is something as small as the slide release, with the OEM one, every time I'm shooting, the gun recoils, and when it comes down, I'll stop the slide mid-string of fire. Or I will have my support hand on top and pushing down of the slide release, so whenever I have an empty mag, the slide does not stay locked back. So this has been a big fix, especially for something that I carry. This has literally been a lifesaver for me. It helps me get an aggressive grip and shoot my gun just overall better. So something like this, if you're shooting a Glock, it's something that you really got to look into. It's great. I know sometimes they are sold out, but it's a great company, great product. I've never had any issues with them myself. I do have a full review on my channel if you want to go check that out. So from there, we have the TLR1 HL up front. Having a weapon light on the gun, especially for self-defense, is a must-have in my opinion. Not only will it help identify your threat in a self-defense situation, but whenever it comes to competition, as long as it's a functioning light, you can use it in something like carry optics, and it does help add a little bit of weight to the front of the gun on the lower side, not on top of the slide. So whenever it comes to self-defense, it is definitely a must-have. You can blind your threat, and you know, I will show what this does in broad daylight. Of course, it's nowhere near as bright in daylight as it is at nighttime. This thing at night is very bright. You can look up a review on this anywhere on YouTube. I personally don't have one, but it's a great light and it's inexpensive. I think I picked mine up at right about $150. Last but not least, up here we have the Holosun 507 comp, and so this comp, or this red dot, has a huge window on it. I believe it's 1.1 by 0.8 inches. It's huge. It has like 16 different reticle options. They come in red and they come in green. It's inexpensive. I think it was coming in right at around $350. And just the ability to be able to transition to different targets and also keep seeing your dot in the middle of recoil has been crazy. I mean, you just don't lose your sight picture in this red dot at all, no matter, for me at least, no matter what type of ammo I'm shooting. If I'm shooting plus piece self-defense ammo, or if I'm shooting some low grade remanufactured ammo, I just don't lose my dot. It's the super big window. I can transition easy to other targets. So this is definitely a huge plus. I run a red dot in every single one of my guns that I want to compete with or carry on a day-to-day basis. I can shoot iron sights, but nowhere near as well as a red dot, and red dots overall are just faster. I'll argue with you. If you want a full video on that and me just arguing with people in the comments about that, then we can do that. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. Like I said, I'm gonna take this gun here to my match on Saturday. Right now it's Thursday, and I'm gonna win high overall, or at least attempt to, with this gun, just to show you guys really how well I can shoot with this gun and the simple upgrades. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time. Bow.